Hey, what's up, college football fans, Clemson fans, Georgia Tech fans, uh, any other fans out there that are out here tonight? I'm about to be joined by my two co-hosts, in DeAndre and Smitty. Um, but before I get to my co-host, let me announce that we will be doing a live Clemson reaction to every Clemson game this off season or this season. Excuse me, not this off season, but this football season. We'll be doing a live reaction, win, lose, or draw. You will see our live reaction. Maybe one week we will be on top of the world. Maybe another week we will be, throwing our computers out of the window, whatever the case may be. But tune in if that's something that you guys would like to see. Hey, tune in, like, share, subscribe. But without further ado, I will bring on my two co-hosts, and that will be my two co-hosts. There you goes. What's up, guys? How you guys doing tonight?
Good.
How's it going? Pretty good.
Hold on, guys. I'm gonna do that one more time. Sorry, I forgot to hit the live button. All right, guys, here we go. We're good.
All right.
What's up?
Hey, what's up, man? How you guys doing?
We're doing excellent, man. Doing excellent. Good win tonight. Good win.
An okay win. Let's be real. It's an okay win.
Sometimes we get nasty like that.
Yeah, I feel like there were definitely some bright spots.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start off with a few things tonight, fellas. So what I would like you guys to do is introduce yourselves to the audience. My name is Tiger Paul Craven. I'll be hosting the show. My two co-hosts will be Smitty up in my top right corner, and then DeAndre down at the bottom. That is our resident historian of the game, right? I know a lot of people are trying to get in tonight. I know a lot of people are trying to say their things that they will about Clemson football. DJ did not perform to the utmost potential tonight, but I will leave that up to you guys. What are your first thoughts on the game tonight, guys? I'll start with Smitty in the right corner, and then we'll go down to DeAndre in the bottom. Smitty, go ahead.
So thoughts on the game. Good game overall. Much better start than last year for sure. Struggles by DJ got kind of frustrating. A lot like I said last year between me and you. I feel like the play calling is the bigger issue. We saw in the first scoring drive how picking the plays to move the pocket for DJ made it were the plays where DJ performed the best. Late in the game, they moved away from it, and the offense kind of sputtered. So that was one takeaway for DJ. There was some mental mistakes, not catching the ball. I did, however, I was very relieved seeing him throwing away the ball instead of – there was a couple of holding on to it too long, but one or two I'll give you. It was the excess of that last year that was very frustrating.
All right, so Smitty, Timothy gets in and he says those back shoulder throws were really good. What do you got to say about that?
Yeah. I think the back shoulder throw to Bo and the back shoulder throws to EJ were both where they could both get them and the defender could not. It was unfortunate that they both dropped them. Both seemed like he couldn't find the ball. EJ can't hold on to the ball. But yeah, there's definitely a spark there that I see. Like, I can see why Dabo is very hesitant to pull him. Like, that it's there. But you got to get that perfect trifecta of the play calling at the right time and DJ doing what he needs to do at that time. But yeah, the back shoulder throws were nice. I just feel like outside of Bo Collins, I'm not really sure who's going to catch those back shoulder throws.
All right, so I just want to tell Jordan Bowman, hey, if you want to come into the stream, by all means, come in. I know I talked to Mark earlier today, so if you want to come in and give your thoughts, by all means, just drop into the stream, and I'll put you on here, and you can give your thoughts on the game. All right, DeAndre, what are your thoughts on the game? What happened? What didn't happen? Were you impressed with DJ? Were you not impressed with DJ? What are your thoughts overall on the game?
Okay, first off, I'm going to take up for DJ a little bit here. The right side of the offensive line didn't do a very good job at first. Also, I think they ran the ball the first 3 plays of the game. I think they should have got out quick and had Antonio Williams or Spector get the ball. Also, I want to point out something that's going on in college football right now. And if you watched the Ohio State and Notre Dame game, you saw this a lot. A lot of teams are sitting in cover 2. They're copying what Kansas City is doing. They're taking away the long ball. I think I pointed out to you when people are playing this 3-3-5 or cover 2 also, people are having trouble throwing the long ball and getting deep passes. You saw that with Malik Cunningham with Syracuse this past weekend. You saw that with Quentin Euros this weekend. A lot of teams are having trouble with this cover 2 or this 3-5 alignment. And I think that's what's causing a lot of problems with DJ. Georgia Tech sat back all this whole game in cover 2. But when they finally started getting the ball out to Antonio Williams and Spector faster, I think that's what made DJ improve. I know DJ slipped a lot coming into the game. Will Putnam didn't help him either. A lot of low snaps. I know that was his first year playing center. But, there's a lot of combinations that you can look at with DJ. I saw when Putnam came in, they got the ball out fast, like quick. That's what you're going to have to do with this new it's not new, but the cover 2 and 3-3-5 alignment, you're going to have to learn how to get the ball out fast. Now, our running game really wasn't that good like we expected to be. We didn't see Shipley go off. I think he only had 42 yards. They dropped the ball. The guy only had 1 catch for 7 yards. So there's a lot of blame to go around. Not blame, but DJ played well. 2 rushing touchdowns, one completion. People are not going to let you throw the ball like they used to with this 3-3-5 alignment and cover 2 scheme. It's just what we have to look at. If you go look at any game this weekend, Malik Cunningham got shut down. The guy Ohio State got shut down. People are playing these alignments and making it hard for you to throw the ball downfield. So what we used to see out of Clemson, they're going to make you be more patient because people copying what people did to Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. We're going to make you drive the field. So I just think that we need to work on that. And
all right. Thank you for that original, your original reaction there. What I'll say is, Smitty, you give me your original reaction, and then I'll bring Jordan Bowman on for his original reaction.
I feel like when you have a golden goose, you should definitely use it, right?
Okay.
On offense, that's absolutely 100% Will Shipley. I don't think he touched the ball enough. I understand the, passing it around, giving it to whoever, but somebody's got to set the tone, and that's how you keep the momentum in your favor. I know there's a point in time for Kobe Pace and Mafa to come in and do whatever, but that I feel like should be a lot like when back in the day. It's just like when he's tired, he gets spelled, not every other play he's coming in and out. I wasn't really happy about that. I was extremely happy about the young guys on defense. Barrett Carter is an elite talent without question. Trent Simpson is everywhere. I don't think there was a play where he didn't somehow help stop the ball. Like I don't, unless he was not on the field, he was at the ball every time. I really liked Mukumpa's play, but the secondary is definitely suspect if the defensive line is not getting pressure. That's the only that was the only downside on defense, I felt like. But otherwise, I think it was a really good game. I was very impressed with Cade for that one drive. To come in with the second and or third team players and just push it down Georgia Tech's throat in 40 seconds. I mean, I couldn't be. I don't have a bad word to say about that. So.
All right, Jordan. What do you think?
Is he muted?
First, sorry. Yeah, I was muted. First of all, what's up, guys? Man, a lot of mixed emotions right now about this game. I guess to start with the positives, obviously the defense played pretty well. I was a little disappointed in some of the tackling in the secondary, as was kind of mentioned. The secondary didn't have its best game. I thought they didn't give up a ton of big plays, but when Georgia Tech would get guys in space, they would often make the first guy miss. I thought Fred Davis. I saw Fred Davis miss like several tackles. It was kind of disappointing. Andrew Makuba didn't have his best game tonight in cover. He got beat on that corner route to the end zone to get that Georgia Tech's only touchdown. He was a little rotating over. But all in all, I thought the defense played well. The defensive line was obviously phenomenal. Brian Brissy looked great in his return. Made some impact plays. I think the defensive MVP has got to go to KJ Henry. He was all over the field tonight. I thought he was explosive. He was getting sacks. He was making plays on Jeff Sims. He forced those fumbles. He was getting in his face and affecting his throws. He did a good job, and he for someone that wasn't slated to be the primary starter at that side of the defensive line, obviously in place of Xavier Thomas, I thought he played phenomenal. So shout out to KJ Henry. He's a fifth-year senior, been in the program a long time. But if you go into the offense, it just. DJ. He obviously had some his rough moments, but I thought he made some good throws. A lot of balls that were pretty accurate that weren't caught. I know Bo Collins missed on some. EJ Williams didn't have his best game either. But what I'm really disappointed in is the right side of the offensive line, especially Blake. Obviously, Blake Miller got singled out tonight, being the true freshman. We've heard a lot about him in camp, how he's a mauler, how he's physically far beyond his years, and that he's mentally ready. Well, we didn't see that tonight, and that doesn't mean that that's not the case. But he was clearly a deer in headlights tonight. He was slow getting in his stance a lot of times, got beat a lot. He was going up against some experienced, defensive linemen. Georgia Tech kind of revamped their defense through the transfer portal, so they got a lot of they have a lot of experienced guys. But it was just a very disappointing performance from Miller, and just all in all, that the right side of that line, there wasn't really much push in the run game, and in pass protection, it wasn't great either. So. But I thought I liked Antonio Williams. It was good to see him get some burn early. He looked good whenever he touched the ball. But all the receiver play in general wasn't. It was kind of a mixed bag, and it wasn't great. Joe Ngata was pretty much a no-show. There's a lot to take in about this game, and like I'm thinking of so many different things at once that it's kind of hard to give like my comprehensive opinion of it. But the announcers said it was a mixed bag, and that's about as much as you can say. This did not feel like a game we should have covered or scored 41 points, but we'll take it.
But let's don't forget to give some love to the special teams, because blocking 2 points
Absolutely.
for the first time since 2007
They
is just
definitely showed up.
we got to give some love to the special teams, man.
Because usually we're yelling at them.
Yeah, I still have flashbacks to the Alabama game.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Reed is obviously now the special teams coordinator. It's paying dividends so far. So you got to give him credit. It seems like the special teams unit is a lot more aggressive, and the guys are giving a lot more effort, and it's creating more swing plays, and that probably don't score nearly as much as we do.
And we're talking
without it.
But we're definitely talking about two guys got blocks today that otherwise probably wouldn't see the field outside of special teams. They're putting forth that effort. That effort is what you want to see. And I think in a position like wide receiver where you're on the field often, I think there's not enough effort coming from that group.
I think me and Craven talked about this one time before. How much do we miss Brad Scott? Because Grissom, I know he was an ex-Clemson player, but is he getting the best out of his players on the wide receiver thing? I know Antonio Williams looked good tonight, but are we getting enough out of it? Are we getting enough out of the quick game? But we see like we were too late going to the tight ends, who we all talked about earlier in the year. So I look at that too. It's like, the play calling. Hey, man, you should have wore DJ up. Hey, quick pass. Let's get the ball out. Let's see if he's ready to do it. I mean, I don't know, maybe something was going on with his cleats on some of those falls, but man, I was like, but we won the game. Hey.
And we covered the spread. Woo!
Yeah, $300 I won.
I mean, I feel like there's definitely not a lot of competition for a best starting front seven currently on the defense. I mean, those guys, that's definitely the brightest spot right now, I think. For me, anyway.
And the special teams too. I mean, I was worried about what we had to punt, because everybody talked about how bad the punt was and over the spring. I was like, oh Lord, we can't punt the ball.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about the Clemson offense tonight and the Clemson defense tonight. So the Clemson offense went 3 and out, fumble, 3 and out, touchdown, punt, touchdown. Okay. And then the defense went interception right on the first play, right? 3 and out, punt, 3 and out, missed field goal, made field goal. So if you guys could talk a little bit about what are your thoughts on the Clemson offense And do you guys think it is solved with DJ, or do you think Cade needs to be the answer for Clemson? What are your guys' thoughts?
You got to get better offensive line blocking first, and the receivers got to catch the ball.
I agree.
Yeah, not all DJ. Those guys gotta interact, got to do their part too. I mean, he got sacked a lot, just like he did in the opening game. You got to be able to make sure that you guys are catching the ball and blocking. Like Jordan said, we heard a lot about Blake Miller, and like, dang man, I thought this dude was supposed to be pretty good, and he getting whooped over there.
Yeah, it's it's tough because Cade, obviously that was an amazing drive, and that throw he fit to man, I don't remember the receiver that caught the ball.
Will Taylor.
I thought it was Will Taylor.
Yeah.
Between two defenders, that was elite ball placement. That was a phenomenal throw.
Will Taylor.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that throw on the run. Yeah. I mean, Georgia Tech was playing off a lot, and they weren't necessarily pressing the receivers, but also it wasn't the first team offense in the game either. So it's kind of hard to say, but this offense in general, I think it's in a better shape than it was this time last year. I think this offense is better than last year.
Okay.
At least current. If you go back to September of last year, I think this offense is clearly in a better position. But
Okay.
it's still not a very good. It's still not a good offense right now. I think it's a good thing that we have Furman and Louisiana Tech to kind of look at the film, see what we did wrong, and kind of work on those things. But the run game was really disappointing. Honestly, Smiticus, you mentioned that Will Shipley didn't get the ball enough. I kind of agree, but I also think when he did get the ball, it wasn't like at least in the running game, it wasn't as effective. I thought Phil Moffa was the one that was getting consistently the most positive yardage. It seemed like when they handed him the ball, but it wasn't it was not a great rushing performance. And I'm not advocating for Phil Moffa to be the lead back. I think Will Shipley is the best running back, but I wish we had done more. I wish we had done more with Will Shipley in the passing game. He did have that one screen pass that he took a long way, but we really didn't get the running backs involved in the passing game enough. And you go back to any Clemson offense, that's something that has always been a part of the offense. And I think we have three capable running backs that can do some damage in the passing game. I think obviously Shipley is probably the best at it right now, but I think Kobe Pace and Phil Moffa could develop into good pass catchers. So getting more of that into the offense, I think would pay some dividends, because we just need more speed and space. We need more. We need faster guys. Obviously, when we gave it to Spector and Williams, there were plays being made, but it's something we've got to get better at.
And let's give DJ some credit for that pass he got out that got the offense going when he was falling to the ground. I mean, maybe he do that when he woke up. And I'm saying that people want Cade to play. He looked good, but also they gave Cade a lot of easy passes to start off too. So let's hope that they do that next. Well, Furman's the next game, and we know Furman ain't gonna beat Clemson, but we're looking for positive stuff. Let's start off fast and get those passes out fast. These guys are sitting cover two. So I try to throw. He had a nice throw to Collins. I think it was like 20, 30 yards down the field. He did some good things tonight. He ran the wall real well, too. I mean, he did not throw an INT. Yes, he did fumble the ball, but he did have an INT. And, there's some things that we can take away that he did really well.
What do you guys think about the offense? Went to some tempo stuff, and you saw the offense kind of that was when they were making plays. That drive that stalled out in the red zone, like they worked the ball, and they were lining up fast, and then I think on that first and goal, they took their time. It seemed like the start and stop of the tempo stuff that you know Brandon Streeter and Kyle Richardson have been, talking about all offseason how they're trying to get more tempo back in the offense. It wasn't very consistent tonight, so it's like I'm not sure what the game plan is. I'm not sure what what the goal is, because this start and stop and not letting our guy, the guys get into a rhythm is I think is also kind of hurting the offense. I mean, you run tempo and you see it's working, and then you stop, and then you don't go back to it until way later. It was a very confusing game plan tonight. I don't know what you guys think.
It definitely feels like they're bending over backwards to kind of help DJ feel comfortable. I think that has a lot to do with it, especially the poor play calling. I mean, if you don't throw the ball for the first 20 plays of the game, like, of course they're going to tee off on your run game, and your running backs are going to start averaging 2 yards a carry. Then, as you saw them open it up, get DJ out of move the pocket over, and get DJ comfortable. The running game opened back up. So, yeah, I think it all hinges on DJ being comfortable, and I feel like if we can't keep him comfortable and be successful, like, it might be time for him to sit down. But I mean, the next 3 to 4 games will definitely tell that, with Furman, Louisiana Tech, and Wake Forest coming up. Those are definitely 3 games that are going to have those telltale signs that come out that'll definitely show the way forward. Because if DJ struggles in the next 3 games, there's no sense into writing him out for ACC play at all. So, and those games, Cade should definitely get a lot of playing time. So,
oh yeah,
the tail will be on the tape at that point.
Now, the touchdown that Cooper gave up in the end zone, I really don't think that was his fault. I think it was a great play designed by Georgia Tech, and Jones was put in a tough situation. And then also on top of that the guy that Sills was thrown to was 6'7". Cooper's 5'11". I think Cooper played a pretty decent game tonight. When Georgia Tech went to 5 wide, and they had that quick slant. I don't know who gave up that first down, but
that was Makuba. I think he was. I think Makuba was lined up in the. They've been rotating Makuba in at nickel and stuff. I think he was playing in. I think he was playing there in the slot, and he gave up an inside release, and I mean that that wasn't really his fault, and that was I think that was Wes Goodwin being a little too aggressive there, and then he just got burned for it, but.
Yeah, I think also last year when we played North Carolina State, if you remember, there was a hole on the left side of the they kept hitting against the zone like little 5-yard passes. I saw Georgia Tech did that a lot tonight. I don't like sometimes when they just sit back in that zone. Sometimes I think you just got to go attack, and I think that when he started attacking Sims, I think Sims a good quarterback. I didn't think he. At a school that doesn't highlight his talent. But I think he was at another school, he'd probably be a little bit better. But I just think that we sat back in the zone too much in that first half. And when we started going back to attacking them in the third or fourth quarter, I think we came out to be all right. Our defensive line is just amazing. I can't wait to see when Xavier Thomas get back.
Yeah, they definitely caused a lot of penalties that otherwise probably wouldn't have been there.
Yeah, and that helped some of our defensive drives when the back seven was kind of giving up some plays, but the defensive line, just the imposing nature of the defensive line forced a lot of penalties, and because you got to know those offensive linemen have like when they were game planning, they have a ton of responsibilities. Just knowing how good this front is, a lot that they had to account for, and so it made them antsy. They jumped early, and Clemson does that little shift sometimes to kind of sometimes they get guys jumping early. And
Right.
it works. That's something that Venables did a lot. And obviously Wes Goodwin didn't take that out. Still wants to do that.
Okay.
So
What I will say is, what are your guys' thoughts on Clemson football? I know that DJ did not exactly. Um, he did not exactly do what we thought he would do. So what are your guys' thoughts on the rest of the season? What are your guys' thoughts on whether he will continue to progress? What's your thoughts?
I think he'll continue to get better. I think he'll improve on that. It's how much really. That's really the question. I mean, because he improved last season. He got better as not a whole lot better, but he managed the offense better towards the end of the year than he was definitely in the first half of the year.
Right.
But so it's really just about that. I mean, obviously he had the one turnover early in the game, but other than that, he took care of the ball. He when there was nothing there, he threw the ball away. When at times last year, he definitely would have forced that into coverage, or fumbled or something. But I think it's going to be a week by week thing. It seems like I think DJ is going to be the starter, for the foreseeable future. But it's going to be whenever Dabo feels like it's not, it's not working. I think he's going to pull the trigger, but I think that this offense is still feeling itself out. So it's really just it's hard to even say what the projected outlook for this unit is, because I really don't know. There's a lot to improve on, and I'm sure they will, but how much do they improve is going to be the difference in Clemson being a good team that's going to be the front runner to win the ACC versus
Right.
a college football playoff contender, because the defense is absolutely national championship level. There's some stuff to clean up, but it's absolutely national championship level. And I put it up there with just about anybody's. But
Yeah, and that's the thing is it's like the defense is absolutely national championship level, and we'll see what happens as far as what goes on for the rest of the season. So, other two guys here in the chat, what do you guys think?
I definitely think it's hard to tell exactly how well DJ would have played when there were at least plays when he started to play with defensive linemen in his face because of the freshman offensive lineman couldn't block. So that's definitely a spot that needs to be addressed immediately. He probably, honestly, freshman tackle, first game jitters. Maybe when he tosses around those small guys from Furman and Louisiana Tech, he'll build his confidence a little bit, and it won't be an issue. And everyone's going to quick to call Cade Klubnik out to come and call Dabo out for not sitting DJ, but I think it's definitely too early. The one thing he doesn't have is the experience that DJ has. We've definitely seen what DJ can do. The games where he played for Trevor Lawrence were uncanny. Made me really excited for the future. But that same DJ hasn't showed up yet, so we gotta hope Dabo pull that out of him. And like I said earlier, I think it's all about getting him comfortable. Because when you're doubting yourself, when you're getting hit all the time, it's very hard to build that confidence, especially after a year like you had last year. So I think just like the freshman tackle, I think going through these cupcakes these next couple weeks hopefully can help build that confidence in DJ, and we just get a totally different player the rest of the season. And if not, we'll definitely see enough out of Cade Klubnik that hopefully, if need be, Dabo won't be afraid to pull that trigger like he did for Kelly Bryant when Trevor Lawrence was waiting. So,
well, my thing is, you got the block on that right side. I mean, I know everybody says get him comfortable, but my issue is if you're looking at what's going on in college football, the way the defense are training, if you're looking for deep bombs and stuff like that, it's not going to happen. The offensive line got to do a better job of blocking and get those teams out of cover too. And I know people say, well, Will Shipley didn't get a chance to play a lot tonight, but also we only got 4 eligible offensive linemen. Running backs. We don't want to burn these guys out too fast, and that's why I think you saw a lot of rotation with the running backs. Because I think we only have 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Adams. I don't know.
Well, I think we gave Dominique Thomas the scholarship. I think we gave him a scholarship, but other than that, I might be wrong about that. But I might have heard wrong. But it's really Shipley. It's Shipley, Pace, and Maffa, and then obviously Adams is a true freshman, and so it's not a very deep room as far as numbers is concerned. So
so I think that's something that we all got to look at. But I just think he played well today. The first game of the year, you heard all this talk. The guy obviously, everybody been talking about the personal life that he's been going through with his parents and all this other stuff. So sometimes, you get off to a slow start, but it picked up. But like you said, they got to help him out too. Everybody's sitting in this cover 2 or cover 3 alignment. Hey, get a quick pass out there to Antonio Williams. Everybody been talking about him all camp. Get him out there and play.
So fast.
Yeah, he when he touched the ball, it was just like, wow,
Yep.
this is what we were missing last year.
That's what you want to get them out of that cover 2, cover 3. Then you open it up because when he did throw the Bo Collins and they decided to, I don't know what's going on with EJ Williams and Nagata. These guys, maybe because of the cover 2 and the cover 3, but I tell you what, I see State play up close and personal. Over there to the ECU game, and they cannot block Georgia Tech's defensive lineman. They're gonna have a heck of a time with NC State. And I'm not worried about the next 3 games because Wake Forest isn't that good. And I'm talking about because the quarterback's gone, but they just not give Clemson any problem because Clemson speed. But if you want to really look at a game that's going to tell us everything we're going to know, it's going to be the NC State game. And East Carolina gets a lot of transfers and a lot of junior college players, so they're more mature. That's why ECU was able to hang with them. And I took the 12 points to ECU. I'm telling you right now, I looked at that game. Me and Craven talked about it last year.
Yep.
And I blocked NC State's 3-man line. And if that right tackle don't get it right, I don't care if he had Deshaun Watson back there, quarterback at his best. He ain't going to get away with it.
Yeah.
That offensive line got to block somebody.
Yeah. It's got to be better. I obviously Jordan McFadden. I thought he had a good game. He held up really well, but I mean, he's all reliable. He's been in the program a long time, and he's
played real well too.
Yeah. I thought, the Will Putnam at center. It was a very mixed. The snapping issue at the beginning was obviously killed some of our early drives, but it got better as the game went on. The snaps got better. I don't think he played horrible, but you definitely got to see some improvement there. But it's like I said, I think this offense it's a feeling out process, and I don't think they entirely know what they're going to be yet. So these next couple of games or next few games really are going to be huge in determining that. I wanted to ask you guys, how soon do you think Antonio Williams becomes the number one at slot?
The next game.
Immediately.
Before Wake Forest, for sure.
Yeah,
I think, I don't know. I'm a big fan of both zeros. Barrett Carter, Antonio Williams.
Yes.
They both stood out every time you've seen them on the field.
Big Mick in the comment chat makes a good point. Yeah, DJ did hold the ball too long. That's something that they've been trying to coach out of him. That was something he did a lot last year too. He's got to do better. He's got to get the ball.
I mean, that's something that DJ did a lot last year. And if we're being honest, DJ, I mean, he's done that a ton.
But I have to go back and play. Call this guy.
But the difference is this season is we have another option. So we'll see how it goes. I would have liked to see Cade come in a little sooner in this game. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. I'd be interested to see what you guys think. I would have liked to see Cade come in a little bit sooner. What do you guys think?
I don't. I think they played it right. Get the guys. If this first game of the year, get them in there and see what happens. Yeah, let's see what happens. You got 3 more games before you get to state, so see what happens.
I think. Yeah, I think this staff.
What are the other two guys here in the chat think?
I definitely think. I feel like the way he looked today, they definitely should throw together some kind of package situation where he can come in with the starters every once in a while and do something.
Okay.
It's not uncommon,
Right.
Especially with DJ struggles, it's a way to help him build confidence, maybe.
And then Jordan, what do you think, Jordan?
I mean, I definitely think you got to play Cade, and so I kind of agree with that. And they've the coaching staff has mentioned that they want to have Cade in package situations and stuff. I mean, we didn't really see that, so I hope we see that going forward. I think you have to. I mean, whether DJ is the starter or not, I think Cade has to play at least some. Every game. I mean,
he wasn't playing against their starters, but
right.
I mean, just how comfortable he looked immediately. Like he didn't doubt himself at all whatsoever. He went out there and he ran the play as he practiced it.
Yes.
I think that there's a point where like a quarterback in that position has to be able to process things quickly. And I think part of the problem with DJ is that he's not processing things quick enough. I'm not sure if you can teach that. I'm not sure if he can learn that.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, just a thought I had. It just feels like his processing power is not at the the Intel core processing power. If you catch my computer lingo.
Yeah, no, I got it.
But Cade just looked like he belonged out there.
All right. So a couple of you guys in the chats, or a couple of my co-hosts, if you guys can share the link, I would like to get some people in the chat. I would like to get some people in here and get their thoughts on what happened.
Well, I love Moffa, definitely. I loved every bit of him running for sure, though. I can tell you that.
Yeah, for sure.
He
So share the link in the chat, and if people come in, we can answer their questions, and we can.
There's a few going off in the chat.
Yeah, well, I think you might have to. Well, none of us can post it. Well, I mean, we can post it, but nobody can click on it because none of us are on.
I can read it. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. Were y'all kind of disappointed how less they used Will Taylor after all you heard about him this summer? And
I mean, I don't know, because I mean, when I saw the preliminary depth chart and it had Spector and Williams as the top two guys at the slot, I kind of expected Will Taylor. I kind of expected Will Taylor not to play a whole bunch.
But last year we saw him before he got hurt. They used him as a what's called a wildcat quarterback. They used him a little bit more. I mean, I know it was early in the season's first game, but they might have some more stuff they was holding back. Oh man, what about that punt they made the coach from Georgia Tech used it last time out?
Oh, Jeff Collins, yeah. That
was funny.
Yeah, that was a little bit of trickery by Dabo. He still got it a little bit in his he does that kind of stuff. Speaking of punting, I thought Aiden Swanson, all things considered, I thought he punted really well. Because the practice reports kind of told a different story. It seemed like because BT Potter was also repping at punter, and it was a kind of a battle between them, and at times the punting looked less than stellar. But I thought he punted the ball really well. I thought he got good hang time on the ball, good distance. I was worried that was going to be a problem tonight, and it really wasn't. The special teams in general was great. BT Potter made his field goals and his extra points, and obviously the two blocked punts were huge. So yeah, special teams was arguably the best unit tonight. I mean, obviously the defense was great, but you could argue the special teams was as good.
How much did Kevin Henry difference was made because of Mal Murphy and Breezy? But what's up with Tyler Davis? You ain't really see him much tonight. You seen him, but you really didn't see him. I mean, is it the rotation that deep that
I think he's the one being double teamed most of the time.
Yeah, I mean Tyler Davis is such a. I mean, he eats up so many blocks.
They talk about Breezy all the time, but Tyler Davis is the one taking those double teams.
Yeah, no, and Tyler Davis, it feels like Clemson misses his presence more when he's not on the field than when Bressee's not there. Just because of he eats so many blocks. He's such a force in the run game that it forces teams to dedicate a lot of resources to him, and it frees up the other interior guy, whoever the interior guy is. You saw Trey Williams get in on there on a tackle for loss too. Obviously, Bressee was great, and the KJ Henry off the edge was great. Miles Murphy he had a quiet night as far as a impact plays were concerned, but I thought he set the edge well. I think he gave up contain like one time on that Jeff Sims run, but all in all, I thought he played pretty well. So just the defensive line, Tyler Davis is he's the unquestioned leader, heart and soul of that defensive line. Right. So, I hope he stays healthy.
And I don't think we didn't even see Xavier Thomas. Right, they held him out.
Yeah, no, he's not ready. Yeah.
He won't be back to the Wake Forest game or State game.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
doesn't look like we'll need him now. KJ filled in really nicely, and it's nice to see him, break in and have that kind of breakout year.
Absolutely.
Freshman from last year, did they play?
Who?
The two freshman defensive ends. I can't remember their name. Cade is one.
Oh, Denhoff and Denhoff and did they play tonight? I don't know if I saw.
Yeah, I don't think I saw him. I saw Cade from Greensboro. He got in. Rukuku played.
Kevin Swint played a lot. He played more snaps than I thought he was going to. Timothy me and Timothy were on the same wavelength. Yeah, you saw Kevin Swint in there a lot, so that was good to see.
Okay.
All right, so we got Will in here. Hey, what's up, man?
I was going to ask a couple questions. Do you guys want DJ and Cade to do sort of like what Jim Harbaugh's doing with Michigan, like have Cade start one of the upcoming 2 games and then DJ starting the other one? Do you think that'll be like fun, healthy competition, or do you think that won't help the team?
No.
Well, I'm not as diametrically opposed to that, but Dabo that's not how he would do it. You know, if you go back to the Trevor Lawrence and Kelly Bryant, battle, it wasn't one guy starts one game, the other. It was they played. They each played series within the same game. So if that were to happen, if they were going to do something like that, that would be how Dabo would do it. But I don't even think that's going to happen. I think DJ is going to be I think he is the starter, for the near future. He's going, Cade is not going to they're not going to split series and stuff. DJ is going to play the majority of the series, at least for now.
Doesn't Michigan one is a situational quarterback, won't come in just to do running plays or something?
Well, they did that. They did that some last year, but now it's there. JJ McCarthy is the 5-star. Well, he was a freshman last year, but former 5-star quarterback, and now they're actually going to start him next week, and so that they're going to decide who the quarterback is the week after. So that's and it's looking like it's going to be JJ at this juncture right now at this point, but it's kind of it's kind of confusing.
Yeah, and for the O-line, do you think that do you think that we'll see improvement in the Clemson O-line as the season goes along?
I think so. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, no. I mean, there were some. Dabo mentioned communication issues. I thought that was a lot of it. And again, the left side of the offensive line looked good. When we ran to that side of the ball, there was chunk plays, and there was positive yardage. It was on the right side. I don't want to keep singling out Blake Miller, but he really was a liability at times tonight. And he's a highly recruited guy. He's talented, and he looks the part. He just needs to get out of his own head a little bit and kind of settle into the offense, do his job, and I think you'll see better play from them.
Yeah, it's just hard for freshman alignment to go straight into the action, but they
that's supposed to be one of the most easiest positions to translate to, because you're not protecting the blind side of the quarterback, so that should have been an easy transition. I don't know why they won't play Travis Slay there. He was very highly recruited. You see Nick Saban do it all the time, cross train. Why doesn't he play on the right tackle side? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just what I heard from one of my football podcasts, that O-line's hard, but I don't know. It might be different for different people, but definitely we had one of our guys last year, Joe Alt, and he was our O-line was just complete garbage, but then it got better as the season went on. So I'm sure that'll happen for Blake Miller too. I'm sure he's going to be a high draft pick in the NFL.
Yeah. I can't tell you the last time I had a high draft pick in the NFL. But Cameron Jackson, as far as offensive lineman goes.
And like I just don't I'm not trying to kill your wide receivers, but with the catching thing, is it just I don't know, because I felt like Clemson had a lot of good guys with Hunter Renfrow and a bunch of other guys and both guys I thought Bo Collins would be pretty elite, but I don't know, is it just a mental thing with the guys? Are they just in their own heads or?
Yeah,
Brad Scott been gone. I don't think they play very well. I think it's something with Grissom. I mean, he's a former player, and I think that had a lot to do with it too. I mean, since Brad Scott been gone, it doesn't seem like we did a very good job of developing too many chain wide receivers.
I kind of agree. It's Tyler Grisham. He mentioned last year that that he felt like he failed his group last year, and so I was hoping to see a more a better effort from that group tonight, and it wasn't there. And Bo Collins didn't have a great night. But he was arguably our best receiver last year. He was, and he stepped up big time towards the end of the year when there was a lot of injuries at that position. But so I'm still on the Bo Collins train. I think he was in position to make plays, and they just weren't made. Especially in the second half, he had some big drops. But yeah, it's got to be better all around. So I don't know if it's coaching. I don't think it's a talent issue. I think the wide receivers are talented. All those guys you saw on the field were former blue chip prospects. But obviously they're not playing up to the standard that Clemson brands itself as wide receiver U because of how much wide receiver talent they put in the league the last decade. But it's just they're not playing up to that standard, and I think they know that. It's all about they got to execute better.
And do you think that in the important moments, do you think they'll give Will Shipley more carries than he had today? Because I was kind of surprised when the game was that because if it was working, I would have just kept pounding Will Shipley in there to keep.
We were just talking about that before you logged in. You gotta look. Clemson doesn't have a lot of depth at running back, and so what they're trying to do is save him for later on in the year. So I think that had a lot to do with it. And then also, I think Moffitt and Kobe Pace, they had over 700 yards themselves last year. Matter of fact, I think Kobe Pace averaged 6.9 yards per carry last year. So you got to give him a. I think it's just he's trying to mix it up. He don't want him to put that much wear and tear on his body. And remember, all the guys are sophomores and freshmen. So juniors.
Yeah, this running back. I mean, those three running backs are really capable. Very good. I mean, I think all three of them have all conference kind of potential play wise. So there's not a reason to. I don't think there's a reason to turn Shipley into the feature back and pound to the right. I don't think we need to do what we did with Wayne, back when Wayne Gallman was our running back, and we would just pound him, pound the rock with him a bunch of times because he was just that kind of back. He fought for those extra. I don't think we need to do that. I think we have more than enough. I think we have three very capable, running backs. I think Shipley's the best of them, but I don't think they need to turn him into the primary back because I think Kobe Pace and Phil Moffitt bring different dimensions to the running back room and to the run game. So I don't think it was a personnel usage issue tonight. I think it really just was the offensive line didn't create a whole lot of holes and just in some communication issues on that side. So
yeah. And do you think the secondary will also improve a bit? Because I don't know,
it will.
Just surprised how. I mean, Georgia Tech just did play a bit better than I thought they did as well. But
yeah. I think they will. I think it's just going to be. There's a lot of new guys stepping into new roles, and that was something we knew going into the year. Losing your two all first team all ACC corners. I mean, there's going to be a drop off. The good thing is Clemson has such a great front seven. It takes some of the pressure off of them, and they'll be able to kind of develop. And I trust Mike Reed with the corners. At this point, he has a proven track record. He always gets good play out of those guys. So it's going to get better. They do need to clean some stuff up. I thought the tackling especially was not very good, and they need to communicate better. In terms of the one big touchdown play that they had, there was some I don't, maybe it was on Sheridan Jones, maybe it was on Makuba, but clearly they were not on the same page, and one of them was supposed to help the other, and that didn't happen.
It was a great grand play though too. I mean,
it was a good play design, and it was it was a matchup, and like you said, DeAndre, it was a matchup thing, because Makuba's not the biggest guy, and he was he's kind of been putting
Well, I got the tickets for the game coming up in November. I got my tickets for the Clemson Notre Dame game, so I'm definitely going to be following the Tigers. I hope you guys go undefeated, man, because we're gonna, if we have any chance of making the playoff, we're gonna have to beat an ACC champion Clemson team. So definitely excited for college football season. This was a great first week, some great games, and I'm really looking forward to that Clemson NC State game. I'm sure the Memorial Stadium's going to be rocking. The Death Valley's going to be rocking that one. So, I mean, NC State didn't look like they had played their best game either. So it'll be fun to see how the teams get better before that game as well.
Yeah, it's but you mentioned that Notre Dame game. I'm really excited for that one. That's going to be a fun one. Thanks for calling in, Will. It was good to see you.
Have a good night, guys. Fun show.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
So when we play Furman, what are we looking for? I mean, we all overwhelmed them with talent. So what are we actually looking for in this next coming up game?
Efficiency.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Clemson needs to. I mean, I don't know.
Make the easy stuff look easy. That's going to be my motto for next week. Make the easy stuff look easy. Okay. David Wood, yes, we do have a new special teams coach. Well, it's not a new guy, but Mike Reed is taking over the responsibilities there.
Yeah. It's no.
One thing I want to see improvement on, I want to see these coaches let DJ get the quick game going. Like get these guys out there cover two and, run the ball a lot better. But I want to see the quick game go. I want to see him get Antonio Williams the ball, and let's see that speed that he has. We miss that. I will also stop putting those two big receivers in there at the same time. Go back to Winfro, Antonio Scott, and Mari Rogers, and have some diversity in what your receivers can do. Maybe that would loosen it up. Like let's get the ball out quick. I was glad to see us run a jet screen. What's it called? A jet sweep with I think he got a couple of yards. We haven't seen that in a while. I can't remember the last time, Amari Rogers, David Scott, or who was the other one, Ray McLeod.
Yeah.
And that's what Antonio Williams looked like. So put Antonio Williams, Spector, and whoever else in there at the same time, Will Taylor.
Right.
Use some of the speed instead of having these tall, lanky guys out there at the same time. So, I mean, I know it's easy to say for me because I'm not in practice, but I'm not a play caller. But I just think that we need to get back to having a veracity of receivers because it don't seem like having the guy that E.J. Williams and Bo Collins at the same time in there is working for us.
No, you gotta have the speedy. Yeah, you gotta have a speedy guy that can move the chains and someone that the defense has to account for because it's if Georgia Tech's going to sit back in cloud coverage the whole time. I mean, we can't just win on jump balls. They're going to have help, and so it's you got to have that guy that can find holes in the zone and get yards after catch. So
I feel like there wasn't a lot of work in the middle of the field either.
Yeah, no, I was disappointed in that.
I feel like Davis Allen.
Yeah. So what you just said, Smitty, it's kind of Clemson's Achilles heel, if you will, and it's kind of my pet peeve with Clemson going forward, with kind of what's been happening with the offense. So you go back to the Tony Elliott era, and they did not attack the middle of the field. They did not use the tight ends, and we're kind of doing the same thing, right? So where do we go from here? Like why are we not doing that?
Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know, because there were plays to be had tonight in the middle. Like they're talking about in the chat right now that play that DJ missed to Davis Allen. He's sitting there right there in the soft spot in the zone, right in the middle of the field. Doesn't see him, and instead takes a sack. And it's like, why? Right. It seems like there's not enough like grown up passing concepts in this offense sometimes. It's like
it's all about getting to the outside.
Yeah, it's screen play and stick routes, and it just not a lot of there's not a lot of grown up. I didn't see a whole lot of mesh. Didn't see any stuff like it's something that pretty much everybody runs nowadays, and apparently we refuse to do it. There's plays to be had in the middle of the field, and if defenses had to respect that part of the field, we would see more success on the outside, and we would see Joe Ngata and EJ Williams and even Bo Collins, have more room, on the outside to make plays down the field in the vertical passing game. But we don't have it because they don't respect it.
Big Mike used to go in the middle from outside. Like, where's that? Like, let's run Bo across the middle. Like, he's got the hands, he's got the size. Like, something's got.
I mean, Bo Collins did great tonight, right? Like, I mean, that dude was absolutely out of his mind tonight. I mean, right?
We just need efficiency.
Yeah.
I think stop getting into obvious passing down, so DJ's not having to find Will Shipley going down to the ground on a third down to keep a drive alive. Like stay ahead of the chains, do stuff that it seems like Clemson's offense is still just kind of it's kind of just stuck in its ways, and it's like there's still not a lot of innovation there. And I was I do reserve the possibility that maybe Clemson went into this game just reserved to be ultra conservative and just maybe they didn't want to put anything on tape. I reserve the slight possibility, but but I'm not at this point. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, the playbook wasn't open. I just feel like we didn't do what we should have. So
well, if you look at it though, and I'm a gambler, and I'm sure all of y'all know that nobody gave Georgia Tech a lot of respect coming into this game because of all the changeover. I mean, me and Craven talked about it the other day. There was a lot of turnover at Georgia Tech, even a lot of guys leaving and coming. So we didn't really know what to expect from Georgia Tech. You got to look at that too. It's the first game of the year, and they had a lot of new guys. That defensive end that was lighting Miller up, I didn't even heard of. That 6'7" receiver, I'm like, where'd this dude come from? Like, wow.
There's also, the offensive coordinator's first time play calling.
Right.
But that's the thing. It's not.
It's definitely a skill he's going to have to build.
But that's the thing. But it's not. Brandon Street. I mean, even at Clemson, he's called plays. He called plays in the Sugar Bowl against Ohio State, which I hate to bring that game up, but there was a lot in that game that we didn't like. And he called plays in the Iowa State game, and so and that wasn't like we didn't. we didn't like the scoreboard even in that win. So, but even before that, Streeter, he was at Richmond and he was an offensive coordinator there. So I mean, it's not like I know there's a difference between coaching at the FCS level. Don't get me wrong, and becoming a big boy coordinator at a major program, but it feels like there's just not a lot of there's not a lot of innovation, and we're not even doing a lot of the the modern stuff. It's not even we're not even asking him to come up with this wild new scheme or anything like that. Just do more of the stuff that you see a lot of the modern passing offenses are doing. If you're not working the middle of the field, you are taking literally 2/3 of the pressure off of the defense, because they really don't have to worry about it.
But also, I'll go back again. If you go, I watched a lot of college football this weekend. I don't know how much y'all watch. Go back and look how defenses are setting up. Go look at Texas and Monroe versus Texas. A lot of people are taking that stuff away, and I don't know how Alabama looked versus Utah State. I ain't really watched that game. I know they won 55, but we saw it with Ohio State, and everybody talking about how outside of Clemson's defensive line, that's probably the second best position group in all of college football right now. And look how Notre Dame took them away. It was 10-7. I know they won 21-10, but look how they took it away. So I just want to see how the next 2 or 3 games go and what adjustments these guys make. And I think the quick game is something that you're going to have to adjust to if you want to win a national championship this year. Not even a national championship. You want to win the ACC. Because there's teams out there this year, I think that's a lot better that we're not giving a lot of credit to. Like Miami, I think they're a good team this year. I don't want to see them win nothing, but I still think they're a good team. And Notre Dame.
Yep.
CJ makes a good point in the chat. The defense did get caught, looking at the sideline a couple of times tonight. That is that is something that you don't want to put on. You really want to put on tape, because that's something that was a problem, and especially in the Sugar Bowl against Ohio State. They that was they did a lot of sugar huddles and caught Clemson not set at the line, and it seemed like Georgia Tech did a little bit of that, but they didn't do it enough where it really burned them. But maybe against a better offensive team, that might be something that they might try. So hopefully they took note of that, and they do better at getting the calls in faster.
The first time I noticed it was when they in Carolina, when we beat Carolina with 21-19 a couple of years ago.
That was
the first time I noticed it. I was telling them, we had did a show about it earlier one time before. That's the first time I noticed it, that sugar huddle or getting a quick play in or something like that and run. And they did do that to us a lot, and I couldn't understand why we couldn't stop it. I was like, Dad, who's in the game that we can't? They just run up that little crease, because Fields did that to us a lot.
Yep.
And like, we still can't stop it.
But all right, but I think we've harped enough on the I guess we've harped enough on the negatives.
Yep.
It's time to look forward to Furman. It's at the end of the day, Clemson won, and they won comfortably.
You are absolutely right, Jordan. It's time to look forward to next week. It's time to do that, and at the end of the day, do I think DJ is the answer? I don't know. At the end of the day, probably not. But with that said, we have to move on, right? Like we have to look into the future. We did win the game. We did win convincingly for the game, and we just have to move on, right?
Yep. And you got to remember this was a 14-8 game last year, and we needed a goal
Right.
line stand.
Yep.
To survive against it. And I don't think this Georgia Tech team is that much better. I think they've improved in some areas from last year, but all in all, this isn't a significantly better Georgia Tech team we faced. But it felt like Clemson controlled the game a lot better, and at the end of the day, they moved the ball way better than they did.
Last year's game was kind of weird because you had a 54-minute rain delay. Then
Yeah, that's true.
You went into halftime after a minute. That game was weird last year.
Right. So thinking about the game last year and thinking about what happened this year, what are your guys' thoughts on how Clemson performed this year and where we go from here?
It's it's week by week. That's all you can do. That's the season. It's week by week. Look at the film. Diagnose what you're doing well, what you're not doing well, and just be better. Because there's no reason why this team can't be good on offense. I mean, it's not like these guys. It's not like Clemson recruited a bunch of scrubs. There's talent on the roster. There's a reason why these guys were highly rated. I think they need to, it's got to be a cohesive effort, and they've got to work. They've got to work in lockstep, and they've got to be, on the same page. And and that's just something that's going to develop over the course of the season. We'll see how they look next week against Furman. I hope to see. I hope they make it look easy. Like I said, make the easy stuff look easy. Make the layups, as Dabo has said in the offseason, make the layups.
Right.
And also, you should still, test the vertical passing game, because there wasn't really much of that tonight, other than outside of a few throws. So I'd like to see more big passing plays, because I think you should be able to get them. So you might as well work on them.
Yeah,
all right, Smitty, you go next, and then DeAndre, you'll go last.
I definitely want to see some work on the offensive line, and the receivers. Get those plays across the middle. Let's get some play calling in there. Let's mix it up. Defense. Let's see a little bit more of what we got. Let's see Barrett Carter and Trenton Simpson going sideline to sideline.
They're amazing, man. It's so refreshing to see that kind of athleticism at linebacker for Clemson. We haven't, no shade to Skalski and Spector. Those guys were great players and stalwarts in that defense. But it's just it's really different when you have guys that can just go from one side of the field to the other and cover a screenplay. That Trenton Simpson, he was just gliding across the field on that screenplay it looked like Georgia Tech was going to get a huge gain, and it ended up being,
Simpson wasn't there. Barrett Carter was right on top of him too.
Yeah, right. It is a true luxury to have, and those are, Trent, and it's amazing. We still have another year of Barrett Carter. I know obviously Trenton Simpson's going to be gone after this year, but it's going to be nice to have that in our back pocket too. So I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts.
Definitely.
Excuse me. I looked at some of the people talking about we ain't going to have the advantage of 2-block punch. A couple years ago, I think it was Alabama. First time we beat Alabama, played Alabama with Deshaun Watson. Sometimes you got great defenses. They will do stuff like that for you. Look at Alabama and look at Georgia last year. I don't think Georgia offense was something as good as it looked last week. Sometimes you're going to have plays like that, and you're going to have to make plays on defense. I remember Alabama, they were like, whatever y'all do on defense, if y'all turn over the ball, don't let them score. We're just taking it. I think it was Kelly Bryant. That game that we lost to Alabama when Kelly Bryant was there, I think the defense scored scored 2 touchdowns for Alabama. It really wasn't the offense. So you're gonna have teams where your offense ain't gonna score, but your defense scores, and that's what we saw today. Our defense just led the way.
It's about playing complementary football. Yeah, that's basically what you're saying. Yeah, the offense. You got to, and that's really what Clemson needs to get to, because I mean tonight was approached that in the second half, but they still need to you've got to rely. You got to be able to rely on the offense to move the chains consistently. I'm not asking Clemson to be 2018 the 2018 offense and putting up 40 plus points a game. I don't think Clemson needs to do that, at least in this regular season schedule. So it's about playing. Like if Clemson was as good as like you mentioned the Kelly Bryant offense. The Kelly Bryant offense didn't light the world on fire, but it did enough. In the games, it did enough in most of the games that mattered, and the defense played really well. And Clemson was a good team. Like that's all I'm asking for. So, and I think this team can get to that. But it's going to take more work.
Go back to that 2018 year. Look at the Syracuse game. It was the defense and the running game that turned it around.
Yeah,
and that's what sometimes you got to do is lean on those type of people. But I just think that we're gonna have a good year this year. I mean, I really would think we too hard on DJ. I saw somebody say in the comments, I can't tell if it's DJ or if it's the offensive line. Clemson offense has to
both.
Yeah, and then catch the ball. I mean, Collins, EJ Williams, catch the ball.
Yeah, imagine if those were catches like DJ, because DJ's stat line, if you look at it, it's not amazing, but it's not horrible either. It would look a lot better if they made those plays. That's because that's something in the past Clemson has had guys that made those plays. The T. Higgins, the Mike Williams, even Justin Ross when he was healthy, Deion Kane. Obviously just having those guys that make those kind of plays, and we need to see that. That's got to be something that happens. But we'll have to see.
But gentlemen, I gotta go to work in the morning. Yeah.
All right, fellas. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up tonight. Thank you guys for being on the Clemson postgame show. Jordan Bowman, Smitty, DeAndre. Thank you guys for being on the show, and we will end this tonight, and we will be on next week for the pregame and postgame.
Hey, y'all people out there in the chat, come join some of the channels. I've been working with Mark for years, and they'll tell you that. And Mark brings me on a lot to talk to Jason Priest. I'll talk about Clemson history all day.
Oh yeah,
I will tell you that.
Hey, there we go.
It's fun to talk. It's fun to talk about.
Hey, spread the word. Spread the word for the pregame and postgame shows that we'll be doing. Hey, Jordan Bowman, you are welcome to come on anytime if you want to come on every postgame show. Hey, let's do it, man.
Yeah, I don't have some crazy Furman stats next week.
All right. Y'all have a good week. We'll see you
later.